Now on CoastTV News.
Up in the air, the debate over short-term rental stay requirements is not over yet in Ocean City. Check this, a new bill would expand criminal background checks for more Delaware workers who could be impacted. And double danger, historic flooding, destruction in parts of the country, and now a winter storm heads in. What's next for the already struggling areas?
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Not settling the stay just yet, a decision delayed in Ocean City. Good evening, I'm Christina D. Robertus. Welcome to Coast TV News at 11. We begin tonight in Ocean City. Now, after weeks of debate, town leaders were expected to make a final call tonight on short-term rental regulations, specifically a minimum stay requirement. But that did not exactly happen. And as we've been reporting, the minimum stay topic has sparked plenty of debate in town. It's no different tonight. Coast TV News reporter Brendan Conroy is in our newsroom with more on this. Brendan, it's going to be at least a week before we see a final decision from council.
Christina, the town says they don't want these residential neighborhoods or developments to turn into commercial-like areas like those hotels. They rather want to keep these residential spots residential. That's why they've been having this discussion for as long as they have. And when I spoke to people at the meeting, they said that they'd much rather see more locals than they do renters. Stay for 5 or more days or don't stay at all. That's the debate Ocean City leaders took up Tuesday, and opinions are still divided among locals. One woman lives in Ocean City and has short-term rented in the past. She told Coast TV a 5-day minimum means business is lost.
If I couldn't do 3 days, I'd not make the money that I am capable of making at having a 3-day minimum.
Michael Ryan, on the other hand, says it's a good idea and would maintain the hometown feel in some residential areas.
I know we live in a resort town, essentially, and so we have to find that balance between, long full-time residents and vacationers.
What the town was trying to avoid was making these neighborhoods feel like they're hotels by having a 1, 2, even 3-day stay. Like right here in downtown Ocean City, you got one right there, 2, 3, and of course across the street, another one. That's what they were trying to stay away from. Short-term renting stays in the spotlight once again in Ocean City. Ocean City's next town council meeting is scheduled for Monday, March 3rd. Christina?
Okay, thanks, Brendan. And the Ocean City Council has already passed a measure limiting occupancy for 2 people per bedroom in rental properties. And at an earlier council meeting this month, council also approved an 11-month moratorium on new short-term rental licenses in the single-family residential and mobile home residential districts. Moving on now, new at 11, a bill in the General Assembly would expand criminal background checks to more state workers. Currently, only Department of Labor employees handling sensitive information are required to get checked. House Bill 20 would now apply to new hires, transfers, contractors, and volunteers across multiple departments. The bill also allows the Delaware State Bureau of Identification to keep track of any criminal history updates after the initial background check. The bill has been assigned to the House Labor Committee. Let's take a live look outside into Lewis now and bring in our first alert chief meteorologist, Paul Williams. Hey, Paul.
Hey, Christina, and hey, guess what? We're dealing with the cold air in place because we have a cold weather advisory, and we have some updates on the winter storm watches and now a warning. A winter storm watch is active for all of Sussex, Georgetown, Lewis, Dewey Beach, Ocean View, and all that, because we're watching out for about 3 to 5 inches of snow. Now, in addition to that, we also have, as we switch gears here, we also have a concern for the very gusty winds right along the coast, and we have a winter storm warning in effect around the Ocean City area. We'll talk more about that coming up in a moment. Till then, back to you.
Well, we are in the midst of cold and flu season, and doctors are starting to see an uptick in respiratory illnesses. This has led Tidal Health to reinstate a temporary mask mandate. Coast TV saw locals in Lewis going in and out of pharmacies today. One person says it's best to have a flu vaccine during this cold and flu season.
The flu is going around. Some of my friends have gotten the flu shot also, but also have gotten the flu. So it's a very strong flu and a different variant, I believe. I think wearing a mask would really help more.
Now, CoastTV spoke with a doctor at Tidal Health, and he says the main concern right now is the flu. This does bring us right to our CoastTV poll. We want to know, how do you feel about the return of masking in hospitals? Let's take a look at the results here, see what you guys think. 62% saying it's a necessary precaution, 33% though saying it's an overreaction, and just a few saying it's only a temporary solution or maybe it should be permanent. We still want to know what you think. It's not too late to vote, so go over to coasttv.com or use our mobile app and you can see some updated results online. Sewage in the water, and now shellfish harvesting is on hold in Ocean Pines. A busted pipe appears to be the culprit, and public works crews have already jumped into action. But the county is telling people to hold off on any future shellfish harvesting. CoastTV News reporter Kevin Zippe explains why.
Fishing crates resting on a dock, not in the water. Not after a sewage spill made its way into these waters.
You guys certainly wouldn't want to be out there, saying I'm going to be fishing polluted waters.
On Wednesday, the Worcester County Commissioners released a statement advising everyone to put a temporary pause on shellfish harvesting in Macklin Creek. According to the statement, Worcester County Public Works crews identified and repaired a 10-inch sewer main break near the corner of Ocean Parkway and Cathal Road in Ocean Pines. A break that caused approximately 1,200 gallons of sewage to leak into the nearby marsh, which drains into Macklin Creek. After finding the leak, the county jumped into action. Worcester County immediately notified the Maryland Department of Environment, which then issued a notice to the public making sure they don't shellfish harvest in Macklin Creek. Richard Neiman has lived in Ocean Pines for over 20 years and says it's a good thing this happened during the off-season.
But I can't believe that anybody's doing any crabbing right at this point in time, but I don't see how that would have any impact.
The county plans to lift its shellfish pause once they're sure the waters are clear of any sewage.
And according to the county, the closures will remain in effect until March 1st. Well, dissenting opinions were enough to table emergency legislation about the West Ocean City Harbor in Worcester County today. Commissioners were hoping to rezone the harbor to aid the county in its fight against offshore wind. Operations related to commercial and recreational fishing would be allowed. Facilities intended to support offshore energy production would be banned. Thomas Privas, an attorney representing U.S. Wind, who wants to build the turbines, argues that the project has federal and state support.
They don't have the right to stand in the way of the United States government and the state of Maryland under general constitutional principles.
The legislation is expected to be brought up again at the next commissioner meeting on March 4th. Power bills are climbing across the peninsula. People are asking for help, and politicians are now demanding answers. Representative Brian Shoup of Milford owns the pharmacy in downtown Milford. He says the power needed to run multiple fridges is running up bills for the business.
We've had to keep back our investments wherever we can in our business. Unfortunately, sometimes that's on products, sometimes that's on hours.
Now, Shoup says he's had other business owners in his district reach out to him searching for help. A short-term relief bill is in the works in Delaware's General Assembly that, if passed, hopes to give some funds from electric fees back to consumers. Now to Lewis. The Lewis Parks and Recreation Commission met today to discuss the short and long-term plans for the park system in the city. The plan includes 100 projects, and the commission is looking at which ones to prioritize. Some examples are more walking trails, safer lighting in the parks, and more trees being planted.
I love nature, so I think it's incredibly important for everyone to do a lot of nature immersion. So more trees would be great. I see a lot of construction going on in the area, which is wonderful, but I also hope that we can keep trees. Lots of nature, trees, flowers, whatever we can do.
The beaches in Lewis are also on the table for discussion, even looking at the idea of webcams and Wi-Fi hotspots on the beach. In regional news, a smoke shop in Dover has been broken into again But this time it was done in a way that caught many people off guard. Dover police say 3 suspects broke into a neighboring vacant building just after 4 Friday morning, and they crawled through a wall to get into the smoke shop. Despite multiple previous break-ins, the owner says he was shocked, saying the alarm system failed since the suspects came in through the wall. While safety upgrades had been made to the shop, this break-in was something they could not have anticipated.
It's different from the past because we couldn't really plan for this one. I mean, after the numerous break-ins that we've encountered before, we've made the necessary upgrades to fortify the store. And, you know, this one isn't really something that we could have done anything about.
Now, Dover police say they are still looking for the 3 suspects, and they urge anyone with information to give them a call there in Dover. And we are just getting started this evening. Still to come, the head of the Postal Service is packing up and stepping down. What's behind the Postmaster General's decision? But first, a winter storm sweeping across the country. Which states are bracing for the worst?
In fact, it looks like we're going to see a piece of that worst because now we have a winter storm warning in effect for the Ocean City area, and we're going to talk about that storm that's headed our direction in just 60 seconds.
Your best deal on a new Chevrolet starts right here at First State Chevrolet in Georgetown.
Save up to $5,500 on this 2025 Chevrolet Silverado.
Save over $15,000 on this 2024 low cab forward.
Sales, service, parts, body shop, and towing all in one convenient location just 1 mile north of the DMV in Georgetown.
Stop in or find us on the web at firststatechevy.com.
We are First State Chevy in Georgetown, where we put you, the customer, first. Together, let's drive.
Transform your home with Coastline sunrooms and awnings. Collectively, with over 40 years experience, our expert team has been designing porch enclosures, sunrooms, and awnings that bring comfort and style to your home.
Whether you're looking for protection from the sun or extra living space, we're here to help. Call now to schedule a no-obligation design. We're offering a free electric recessed fireplace with your sunroom purchase, or get a free upgrade to a motorized awning with an awning purchase. Coastline, sunrooms and awnings. We show up.
We have 2 concerns for right now. First and foremost, we have very cold weather that's in place. So we have a cold weather advisory. And of course, we are talking about the snowstorm that will hit us Wednesday night going into Thursday morning. Our tunnel razor camera in Lewis, we're at 26 degrees. The wind's at about 12 miles per hour, so it feels a bit on the nippy side outside. Plus, we're dropping down to 22 degrees as early as 2 o'clock in the morning. Combine that with the winds, and it's going to start feeling like 10 degrees or lower than that. In addition, we have the winter storm watch in effect for all of Sussex. Now, that's Lewis, Rehoboth, Dewey Beach, Long Neck, Ocean View, down towards Fenwick Island, and all places in between, because we're bracing for about 3 to 5 inches of snow at the very least. And a newly issued winter storm warning has kicked in as well for us in Ocean City, West Ocean City, Ocean Pines, Gray Corner, just to name a few places, all along Highway 113. And for the folks that view us in Cambridge, you've also been placed under a winter weather advisory, okay? So we're watching out for about an inch and a half of snow there, kind of depending on where you are. Windy, yeah, that's going to be a concern for us as well. We have a gale wind watch watching for 35-mile-per-hour winds off the coast for us, Ocean City, as well as for Sussex. So it's breezy, it's cold, and we're bracing for the snow. We're at 24 degrees in Milton right now, as well as Georgetown, 25 degrees in Salisbury, Delmar, Seaford, and Redden. And then we have the winds pouring out of the north at about 13 to 20 mile per hour gusts. So it's feeling like 18 right now in Redden. It feels like 17 in Delmar and Georgetown. The wind chill is 19 degrees in Milton, and it just dropped to 16 just a few moments ago live here on TV. It feels like 16 degrees right now in Ocean City. Wednesday morning, we're going to wake up to it feeling like 10 and 11 degrees. That's why we have the cold weather advisory. Thursday, we're going to feel like 14 degrees to 17. Even Friday, we're going right back down to 12 degrees. So the cold air stays in place. So that means when we get this snow in here, it's not melting away quickly like the last time. We're not having that kind of thermodynamic energy in place at all. For 4 o'clock Wednesday, we see that the latest model has pushed the snow a little bit more to the north. So we're going to have more encompassing snow showers, actually. So we could see more in the way of snow developing, but it still begins to pull out of the way by the time we get to Thursday. I'm still expecting 4 to 6 inches, possibly around from Ocean View down to Ocean Pines, at least 2 to 3 from Seaford, Georgetown to Lewis, and then towards Milford, 1 to 2 inches. The latest model runs indicating, hey, we're looking at 4 inches of rain of snow in some areas, up to 3 with another model run. And even our most conservative model run is becoming a little more enhanced as well. So bottom line is this. First alert for us, Wednesday night going to Thursday. We're watching out for possibly up to 6 inches of snow in some areas. The farther south you are, the more the damage will be.
All right, thanks for that, Paul. And from flooding to freezing temperatures, states of emergency are now in effect for at least 3 states due to the storm. That's including Arkansas, North Carolina, and Virginia. And it comes days after historic flooding in Kentucky, West Virginia, and Virginia that created deadly conditions. Mary Bell Gonzalez reports as temperatures are headed down to historic lows in some parts of the U.S.
First came historic flooding. This past weekend's storm dumped more than a month's worth of rain across parts of Kentucky in less than 24 hours, resulting in 12 deaths.
Eastern Kentucky is still experiencing it at a level that most other parts of the state are not. I mean, just yesterday having an evacuation, even though most of the rain was on Saturday.
At least 15 people across 3 states have died, including 1 in Georgia and 2 in West Virginia.
Overall, the flooding situation remains unsafe and dangerous.
Next comes a winter storm.
We've had a tough winter season in North Carolina, and it is not over yet.
It's forecasted to plunge temperatures as much as 50 degrees below February averages for about 3/4 of the U.S. population by Friday, complicating recovery efforts.
This is a snowstorm in the middle of a natural disaster.
This winter blast could break temperature records across at least 27 states. Already, the danger is being felt as the Kentucky governor made a grim announcement: 2 additional deaths in his state.
Both appear to have died by hypothermia. So that should tell all of us that the weather conditions are as dangerous as that water is.
In the northern plains, wind chills could drop to 60 degrees below zero, risking frostbite within minutes of exposure. I'm Mary Bell Gonzalez, reporting.
Coming up next, a change in celebration. Why the National Guard will not be part of a parade honoring Frederick Douglass's birthday in Easton.
It starts with our oldest family tradition, artisan bread, topped with the finest hand-sliced meats and cheeses. Add in the freshest locally grown produce, but don't forget the In our house, it's not just a hoagie, it's a primo.
Designed to outlast and outlive. Toyota trucks are unmatched, unstoppable, unequaled. Take Tacoma, now with an available iForce Max turbocharged hybrid engine, outfitted with the most advanced tech and ready for anything. Buy a Tacoma now with 3.99% APR, and all new Toyotas come standard with Toyota Care. Toyota, let's go places.
I like going to the events that are actually set up through the station that we have a connection to, a lot of the fundraising events. It's a good opportunity for me to see the good works going on in the community and also interact with the people. When you're out and about, people are so friendly to come up to you and say hi, and that they watch, and very appreciative of that. It's good that you feel like you're making an impact out there.
Coast TV, our community, your news, where every story hits close to home. Hoops happen on the Delmarva Sports Network. All the heart, hustle, and hometown pride. From tip-offs to buzzer-beating plays, don't miss a moment of the action. High school hoops all season long on DSN and DSN+.
It starts with our oldest family tradition, artisan bread, topped with the finest hand-sliced meats and cheeses. Add in the freshest locally grown produce, but don't forget the In our house, it's not just a hoagie, it's a primo.
Coast TV News can be heard on Big 107.7. This is Coast TV News at 11.
The National Guard is pulling out of a parade to celebrate Frederick Douglass's birthday. Saturday will be the third annual celebration for Douglass's birthday in Easton, which was supposed to include a parade. And this is a look at some previous celebrations. Now, the organizer asked the National Guard for a Black Hawk helicopter flyover, along with a marching band and tactical vehicles to be part of the procession. However, a memo sent by the National Guard explained that they could not use federal resources to host any celebrations or events like Black History Month, Pride, or Women's History Month. This limitation, quote, is based upon a recent Department of Defense guidance published on January 31st. The organizer says it's unfair.
I'm offended by the fact that they did it. You know, as a combat vet myself, and I don't blame the National Guard. It's not the National Guard. It came down from the Secretary of Defense.
Now, the Talbot County Republican Party agrees with the memo. They say those federal funds or resources should be allocated for the military only. As for the Frederick Douglass celebration, they still plan to hold an event at the Avalon Theater there in Easton. A federal judge has declined to block Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency from accessing data at the Department of Education. The judge noted violations of privacy law were not certain to take place at this time. However, the judge also said the students who filed the suit could return to court and seek financial compensation if their data is disclosed in any unauthorized way. The food chief at the Food and Drug Administration has resigned. A Health and Human Services officials say Jim Jones left because he did not agree with the Trump administration's agenda to make America healthy again. As food chief, Jones oversaw food safety and nutrition, including policy changes for labeling food as healthy and banning the use of red dye number 3. He joined the FDA in September 2023 as the agency's first deputy commissioner for human foods. And Postmaster General Louis DeJoy is also resigning. The Postal Service says DeJoy notified the Board of Governors that it should begin to find his successor. DeJoy has served as the 75th Postmaster General for 5 years. The USPS says under his leadership, it developed and started implementing a 10-year plan to modernize the service and gain financial sustainability. But DeJoy's tenure was also fraught with delivery delays and financial losses. He drew criticism from both sides of the aisle. Many Democrats and Republicans have said his changes negatively impacted Americans. DeJoy, in his letter of resignation, said simple and obvious ideas to improve the USPS got pushback, what he described as, quote, irrational scrutiny. Coming up in sports, Laurel girls basketball looking to celebrate senior night with a victory over Indian River. And coming up, measles cases are climbing. What's behind the surge?
And we're going to have a surge of cold weather and wintry weather. A winter storm warning has now been issued for the Ocean City and surrounding areas.
Get more with DSN Plus, just $6.99 a month. Subscribe today.
It's time, America. Time to break out the red, the white, and blue oval. The President's Day sales event is here with great offers on powerful, capable Ford SUVs and Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks. There's huge inventory and great selection at your local Ford dealer. Want more? How about this special offer? Get 3.9% financing for 60 months or $7,000 cash back on Ford Expedition during the President's Day sales event.
A wet crawl space is a lurking hazard, inviting mold, rot, and structural worries. The answer is Brazier's Crawl Space Encapsulation. Our specialist tailors the solution to your exact crawl space. Our expert team cleans and upgrades your crawl space into a pristine, protected environment, and we only use April Air dehumidifiers. Reliable and robust, complete with a 5-year warranty. Take the first step to a drier, safer home. Call Brazier's or visit our website. Your peace of mind is just one call away.
There's only one place to go for your next vehicle. I.G. Burton Toyota of Dover. Trusted since 1908 for our expert team, massive selection, and our great prices. Lease a new 2025 Toyota Corolla LE for $209 a month. Or lease a new 2024 Toyota Tacoma for $229 a month. Visit us today. And remember, everybody loves an I.G. Burton deal.
Who wants to drag out a bulky vacuum? Introducing Horsepower Duck, a super compact vac with ultra-powerful suction. Clean up that mess in the kitchen, the spill on the sofa, even sawdust in the workshop. Just duck it up. The compact design can reach the tightest places, so store it in any drawer where it's always at your fingertips. You can even store it in your glove box for the ultimate car vac. The HEPA filter helps remove dust and allergens. Plus, it dumps out with ease, so it's ready to clean again. Get the Horsepower Duck hand vac for just $39.99. Order right now and we'll upgrade you to the Duck Pro package, a $30 value, yours free. You get the bendable tube, the crevice nozzle, and the soft brush nozzle, but supplies are limited, so there's a strict limit of 3 ducks per order. This may be your last chance to get yours at this low price, so don't delay. Duck it up today.
Call 1-800-581-3085 or visit duckvac.com. So call 1-800-581-3085 or visit duckvac.com now.
Well, food contamination is becoming more widespread and in many cases severe. According to a report published by the Public Interest Research Group, most illnesses in 2024 were linked to just 13 outbreaks. That's despite more than 300 food recalls last year. Researchers say Salmonella, Listeria, and E. coli were the most common reasons for food recalls. Now, 19 people died from an illness related to contaminated food. That's double the number from 2023. Well, it was declared eliminated from the U.S. in 2000, but cases of measles are now popping up across the country, especially in areas with lower vaccination rates. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither takes a look at the latest CDC data on measles and goes over the best ways to protect yourself and your family.
It's a highly contagious airborne illness that can cause rash, fever, red eyes, and cough. Severe cases of measles can also cause blindness, pneumonia, or swelling of the brain, and in some cases, death.
We're seeing these sporadic outbreaks of measles.
Dr. Daniel Koritzkis with Brigham and Women's Hospital says most of the measles illnesses now popping up in the U.S. are in young children. Last year, 285 cases were reported to the CDC. That's the most since 2019. And this year, cases are already emerging in several states. Experts say it's due to lower vaccination rates from misinformation. In Texas, there's an outbreak with at least 24 cases, and state health officials say that number is growing.
The vast majority are happening in people who have either not been vaccinated or whose vaccination status is unknown.
Koritzkis says the best protection against measles is vaccination. The first dose is typically given to children between 12 and 15 months, with a second dose administered around age 4. The CDC says older children and adults can also get vaccinated if they didn't receive the vaccine as a child. And the agency says if you were vaccinated with the first version of the measles vaccine used between 1963 and 1968, or don't know which type of vaccine you received, you should get at least 1 dose of the current measles vaccine.
People should just make sure that they are up to date with their measles vaccination and that their children are up to date.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
And if you're concerned about your measles immunity, tests can be performed at a primary care doctor's office, although some doctors say it's not necessary, especially if you have gotten both recommended doses of the vaccine or have had the measles itself.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Tonight, a Henlopen South girls basketball regular season finale and senior night for the Laurel Bulldogs while hosting Indian River. To the first quarter, Maya Whittington nails the three-point shot from deep, giving IR an early lead. Autumn Camper responds of Laurel with this teardrop shot, and then IR attempting a shot right here, but Camper denies them with the block. Tyra Kane steals the inbound pass for Laurel and sets up Monshayla Lewis for the floater right there. Ashlyn Ullman gets the rebound and makes the pass while falling down to Lewis for the bucket. Laurel led 8-7 after 1. Sophia Skirchi gets the loose ball, dribbles around defenders, and makes the pass to Jayla Hudson for the basket. Whittington gets behind the screen and hits the jump shot. IR led 14-8 at the break. Camper starts the second half with another block in the paint for Laurel. Skirchi scrambles for the loose ball and finds Whittington unmarked behind the 3 line, and she nails the triple. Camper ends the Bulldogs scoring drought with this 3-point shot midway through the third. Laurel trailed 27-13 going into the final quarter. In the fourth, Hudson earns the and one after getting fouled in the paint. After getting the ball from her sister Bailey Ullman, nails that from downtown. Then Ranisha Jacobs puts the cherry on top of the Indians' win, banking in that 3. IR wins 43-20. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night.
Coming up next, a reason to pour yourself a glass of red or white tonight. Stay tuned on Coast TV News at 11.
Download the free Coast TV First Alert weather app today.
What if your morning was just easier? At Wawa,
Good morning.
it is. With everything you need to get your day moving. Hi. Mornings made easy. Gotta have a Wawa.
Fall in love with safety and reliability at Gateway Subaru during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. From rain and snow to sunny skies, Subaru's legendary symmetrical all-wheel drive has you covered through any weather. Right now, take home a new 2025 Subaru Outback and take advantage of great financing rates as low as 1.9%. Stop by today to pre-order the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester Hybrid, designed for tomorrow. Gateway Subaru, just minutes from the beaches in the heart of Delmarva. Higher standards.
Ride the wave of Delmarva's coastal charm with Coast Life. Explore local treasures, fresh trends, and unforgettable stories from our coastal communities. Join the adventure with Coast Life, weekdays at 4 on Coast TV.
Introducing Paisano, the authentic pizza oven by Granite Stone. Now make the world's most delicious pizza with real stone right in your own home. You simply set it and let it make golden, crispy, extra cheesy stone-baked pies in under 6 minutes. You can get your Paisano pizza oven for just 3 easy payments of $39.99. Plus, we'll ship your entire order free.
Call 1-800-608-5198 or order online at buypaisano.com.
This is the revolutionary socket fan by Bell & Howell. The amazing 2-in-1 ceiling fan and light. If you can screw in a light bulb, you can hang the socket fan light. Socket fan comes with this handy remote. You can control the light and the breeze that you need. Socket fan fits any standard light socket. You can do it yourself in less than 10 seconds.
And now, the socket fan lights with deep socket extender is yours for $49.95 with free shipping. Order now, and you can get a second fan for 50% off.
Get cool fast with Socket Fan.
Get the Coast TV News app, the latest and most up-to-date stories for your coastal community. Coastal news customized to your needs. Download the Coast TV News app on your Apple or Android devices. Coast TV, our community, your news.
Why settle for any meal deal when you can have one you really want? Wawa's $5 Big Breakfast Deal gets you any sizzly breakfast sandwich, any size hot or iced coffee, and a hash brown, all for just $5. Big taste, big value. Mornings made easy. Gotta have a Wawa.
Well, raise your glass and make a toast because this Tuesday it's National Drink Wine Day. It's observed every year on February 18th. And wine is more than just delicious, though. It can also enhance the flavor of food, and some research shows that in moderation, it can be good for your health.
Take a look at our Spicer Brothers camera in Salisbury. We're at a chilly 25 degrees right now. We'll drop to 20 even by 3 o'clock, and the wind's going to pick up as well. We have a winter storm watch in effect for all of Sussex, watching out for 3 to 5 inches of snow and perhaps 4 to 6 inches for us around Ocean City with an active winter storm warning in effect there. And the winds are picking up because we have a gale wind watch watching out for 30 to 35 mile per hour wind gusts off of the coast. Our umbrella winner, Rachel Old of Baltimore, congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling. Keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line, 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away, sponsored by the law offices of Brockstead, Mendelis, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. We are on alert for tomorrow because of the winter storm for Wednesday night going into Thursday morning.
Okay, thanks, Paul. And thanks so much for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For some more local news and local weather, you can download our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next, and we'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.